with liberty and justice for all. A moment of silence. Thank you. The listing of matters on the agenda are those reasonably anticipated by the chair, which may be discussed at the meeting. Not all items listed may in fact be discussed, and other items not listed may also be brought up for discussion to the extent permitted by law. This meeting is being shown live on cable and live streamed on the West Bridgewater Community Access Media website, wb-cam.org. A recording of the meeting will also be available on wb-cam.org. And on tonight's agenda, we just have one item under business, which is a voting issue on our fiscal year 24 budget.
And I know we went through in detail a presentation. The presentation has been posted on the website, but I did have a couple additional slides, if it's okay with the committee, I'd like just to go through and explain, because then they'll go out on the website as well. So I'll be going through, but if you see anything that catches your eye and want me to stop, please just let me know. Okay, this slide here, I referenced it at our meeting Monday night, and what I wanted to show is for grades 3 to 8 for ELA and for math for our special education students, you'll see that we are in blue and the state average is in red. And this is one area we don't want to be above the state. These are in our two lowest reporting categories. So you'll see over 4 years of data that our special education students have more students in those lowest two categories, or the same as, and the same for pretty much the same for our high needs as well. This is for ELA and math. Just shows the need for us to really get more support for our students in special education and in our high needs overall. Okay, this slide is gives a little bit more information on our per pupil expenditure, shows a historical look like we have for some of the other areas. It may be hard to kind of see, but you'll notice that the West Bridgewater is in blue with the circles on it. And it shows it over 10 years, and you'll see below that in the red, starting out is East Bridgewater, the yellow is Easton, the green is Millis, and the orangey is the state average. The small three-dotted line to the upper right is the southeastern Mass when I did that data. So what it shows is all the districts that we're referencing here are below the state average. You'll see that West Bridgewater had started out near the bottom and is at the bottom when we look at FY21. You'll see a drastic increase in East Bridgewater. I think in FY12, I think they were the lowest in the state. So they had a few years of flat, and then they went up a lot, and they have surpassed us. Easton is an area school that does well, so I thought it was important to show that. Although when you look at the numbers on the left side, those are the FY21 numbers, so it doesn't show all the years. It just compares where we stand below, or in this case, where the other ones are above us. Millis is a DART school, a little bit very similar to West Bridgewater, so we've often compared with DESE data in that. So I think it's just important to show that West Bridgewater was growing, although we started at a pretty low spot with incremental growth under the 1250 number. We did have a couple of years of drop and then going back up again. It just, when you look at the per pupil expenditure, it doesn't take a lot to make an impact, and that's what I'm hoping to show here. An increase of $600 to $800 per pupil with our 1,400 students would be $840,000 to over $1.1 million. So we're not looking to get to the southeastern Mass average. We'd love to, but we don't need to get there to make a pretty substantial impact on our students and provide us more funding. Oh, sorry. So this slide just talks a little bit more things we talked about in general at the last meeting. I termed it budget busters, but things that we don't really, we can't anticipate. For example, students moving into town or aging into programs in West Bridgewater, we're fiscally responsible for those students. And again, we're meeting their needs. So where they need to be placed is where they should be going. So we're fiscally responsible. One new placement could be $250,000 or more. We have placements that are certainly more than that move into the community. We talked a lot about school choice, and there are just decreasing numbers. We're predicting about 155 less school choice students over the next 5 years. That's 575,000 plus any special education increments that we receive with that. So that number would most likely be higher than that. And I think the 155 over 5 years may be too conservative as well. The OSD increases are the increases for our private special education collaboratives. I was just at a legislative breakfast this week, hosted in Brockton with the South Shore superintendents, and this is affecting everyone. We've got about $1 million worth of out-of-district placements, so at 14%, we're talking about $150,000. Their average increase over the prior, I think, 12 years was just under 2%. So it's a tremendous increase that everyone is very, very concerned about. Our increasing number of EL students. This past week, we had 6 students move in that will require services. That's almost a 10% increase in a week. So that can be concerning in terms of making sure we have the qualified bodies to staff the classrooms. And as spoken about before, our aging buildings. We hope the building project will help address this. But we've got 3 buildings that are 60 plus years old, over 250,000 square feet of space that we need to make sure is good for our students. And all the acreage and all the trees that we have close to power lines that tend to go down in the storm. So these tend to be those budget busters that we just don't know is going to happen. One more. Again, this just shows the total requests and the percent, but this just goes a little bit more in detail looking at FY24, which is a repeat of the slide before. We're looking for a 7.78% increase, which is actually $17,138 less than the increase in Chapter 70 for West Bridgewater. And if you look at last year, we asked for a $784,000 increase at 5.42%. Chapter 70 was $744,000, so it's just shy of $40,000. So the reality is, with the Chapter 70 money that's come in over the past 2 years, we're asking for about $20,000 that's coming directly out of the taxes in West Bridgewater. We know and understand that Chapter 70 won't always be 1.2 million for West Bridgewater. We know that, but it is now, and it was quite substantial last year. So I think it really benefits the town that we're getting this extra money that's coming into the town for it to be spent on the schools. I think that's, and then the budget book is posted, and if people have any questions or comments about it, it's we can still add information to it, so we'll be adding some of this information to the book as well. And that is all I have.
All right. I would just like to say, too, that I do encourage people to look at the budget book. A lot of, and I appreciate the people who have spent time putting that together. And it's lengthy, but I think it's chock full of good information that helps explain our budget and, and outlines how it is a needs-based budget. We're not looking for anything extra. This is what it's going to take to keep our schools at the level that we're used to. Does anyone have anything else they want to add?
No, this is my first time through it, and I'm really impressed with the amount of work that everybody did to put into this. It was really very clear for someone that's new and very comprehensive, so thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, so I would like to make a motion to approve the fiscal year 24 budget as presented.
Second.
Second. Any discussion? Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
So moved.
Thank you.
Great. Our next regularly scheduled school committee is on Monday, April 10th, 2023 at 6 p.m. here in the Learning Commons. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Moved.
Second.
Seconded.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Thank you very much.